Are there foods that can help your memory? They're called power foods. One doctor says there are. And then we're going to take a look at spring fashions. What do you need to get in your closet so you look cool this spring? And finally, we're going to make a brain burrito. Not out of brains, something that'll help your brains. That other thing sounds gross.
It's like I'm seeing all the blue skies, and I'm walking on the edge tonight. It feels so right, and I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Rebecca Rainier.
Welcome to Full Plate, and just like the song says, I am so glad you're here. The first thing we want to do today is bring you an expert. His name is Dr. Neal Barnard. He was on last week talking about his new book, Power Foods for the Brain. He's going to show us how some special foods that you put into your diet can help your brain. Take a look at our interview with Dr. Neal Barnard. We're joined by Dr. Barnard, author of Power Foods for the Brain, and we talked about in a previous segment what this book talks about, all these foods that can help our brain power, help our memory. But it all sounds good and kind of looks good, but how do we make, give us some examples. The hardest part of changing your diet is incorporating things that you want to eat versus what you have to eat.
Absolutely. And there's one food that I want to zero in on for a minute, and that is right here. This sweet potato. If you went to the place on earth where people live the longest and stay mentally clearest for as long as possible, it's actually at the southern tip of Japan, Okinawa. There are people there who live to be 100 years of age, and their dietary staple is not fish or rice or the things you'd expect.
Right.
It is this sweet potato.
And I love sweet potatoes.
Yes, exactly. Well, look at that bright orange color. That's beta carotene. It's an antioxidant that protects the body, it protects the brain. But we are big sweet potato neglectors here in this country.
We eat them on Thanksgiving and then we forget about it the rest of the time.
You got it. So I have a recipe.
Okay.
Where I am going to take a burrito, which we think of as being beef, chicken, maybe beans, and I'm going to make it with sweet potatoes.
I love that idea. Now, so we have it here completed.
Yep.
So what are the components? So when you use a wrap, I mean, I'm somewhat carbophobic from years of bad conditioning, I suppose. But what kind of wrap do you usually use when you're making a burrito?
Well, you can use, I will often use a whole wheat tortilla.
Okay.
But frankly, you can wrap it in anything. You can wrap it in a regular wheat tortilla. You can wrap it, if you wished, in a corn tortilla. That might call it an enchilada, would be the normal thing. But what I put inside are diced up sweet potatoes.
Okay.
There's some black beans in there.
Okay.
There's some corn, little onions, a little bit of spritzel of lime juice, and I put a little zip, a little chili in there. Now, what you notice I didn't throw in?
Meat. No meat.
I did not throw in the beef. I didn't throw in any meat, and I didn't throw in the cheese. And the reason for that is the one I made has 0 saturated fat. Saturated fat is the one that's bad for the brain. So when I pump it up with sweet potatoes and beans, and I flavor it in this way, it's special, it's delicious. You can garnish it with a little cilantro if you want, or a little salsa.
And it looks so beautiful. That's part of it. You're feeding your eyes a little bit with this plate.
And if you give this to your children are going to learn to like healthy foods, and that will carry them through life in a really...
They will go to Harvard, they will support you.
Exactly.
I might be pushing a little bit too much.
You can retire early. Exactly. So
that's a good selling point, right?
So number one, sweet potato. Now, if you wanted to, you can take that same sweet potato and you can zap it in the microwave. That's okay.
Okay.
You can boil it. There are a million ways to do it, but my sweet potato burrito is one that you are going to love.
I love the idea, especially, I always say to people, trade flavor and fat. Put some flavor in there. Take out the fat, put in the flavor, and you're not going to miss maybe that cheese or what you would have normally thought would go in a burrito.
You're reading my mind.
I love it.
I have a dessert that does exactly the same thing. Can I show you this?
I really do want you to show me this, because this looks so good that I'm almost wanting to eat it while we're talking, but that would be rude. So what do we got here?
This is the Super Protein Raspberry Brownie. Now, just what you said, well, how are we going to shift things around? So I'm getting away from the fat and I'm making things healthier. Now, this looks like the gooeyest brownie you have ever seen, and when you taste it, you're going to think, this melts in my mouth, it's delicious, but what is inside it? You know what I put in there?
What?
The hidden ingredient, there are some beans. Black beans. Wait a minute, black beans.
Black beans and
That's a Cuban restaurant or something like that. But I put it in there, and you know what it does? It sort of gives you a little bit of the mouth feel that you would get from fat. So instead of that hunk of shortening
Yeah.
or a big stick of butter, the beans hold a little water and they tend to give you that mouthfeel, and they also replace some of the flour that you might normally have in there.
And that's, you're totally right about the beans. I'm looking at the recipe here because the beans, believe it or not, do feel fudgy almost. When
They do.
You wouldn't believe it, but it's true.
And the beanie taste disappears out of there.
Yeah, it's not a bean taste. It's just the consistency, the mouthfeel, what you were talking about. But then you also have like raspberry jam in there, cocoa powder for your chocolatey taste, and dates. Those are all good for the brain?
Well, dates give you that sweetness, but they have, you know, the glycemic index that rates how rapidly your blood sugar will rise. Dates are quite modest.
So
there.
we maintain, man. All right, so I want everyone to know the book, again, is Power Foods for the Brain. And also, it looks like for the taste buds from these recipes.
Exactly.
And there are recipes in here as well.
There are many, many recipes in there. They're all designed to get you away from the bad fats and really pump up vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans. Good for the body, good for the brain.
And people don't do things they don't like. So the key to a really good diet is making these foods that you wind up loving. They go away from pain, you know what I mean? But if they love it, they start to incorporate it and they become healthier for it.
And my target always is kids. I think let's start our kids off in the right direction, and if they're seduced by a healthy dessert, that really beats the socks off candy.
Absolutely. Okay, we want everyone to know there it is, Power Foods for the Brain. You can buy it at your local bookseller, all the major retailers, and of course online. Thank you, Dr. Barnard.
Thank you.
I'm having a brownie.
Me too.
Excellent. All right, thank you, Dr. Barnard, for coming to our little show here. He's like the advisor for Ellen DeGeneres when it comes to vegan lifestyle and vegan eating, so we were really lucky to get him for our show. All right, when we come back, we're going to try to spruce up our spring wardrobe.
Celebrate